The Philippines, a nation under siege. Why does October kick off a terrifying 1-2 punch of destruction, starting with earthquakes and quickly followed by devastating typhoons? Government corruption is plaguing the Philippines. Then, in October, a major earthquake struck, followed by a super typhoon and another devastating typhoon weeks later. Some observers link this rapid succession of calamities to the president's perceived betrayal of Israel by supporting the UN's two-state resolution on September 12th. Is the nation enduring the wrath of God, or is this the predictable toll of a natural disaster exacerbated by human failure? October 2025. The skies over the Philippines darkened, not just with storm clouds, but with a sense of foreboding. Days later, as the nation was still reeling, the ground itself betrayed its people. A powerful earthquake shook the very foundations of the islands. A super typhoon, one of the strongest in recorded history, churned across the Pacific, its eye fixed on the archipelago. The devastation was immense, a 1-2 punch from nature that left millions in despair. In the aftermath, amidst the rubble and the tears, a question began to surface, whispered in evacuation centers and debated in hushed tones online. Was this simply a natural disaster or something more? A sign? A punishment? The wrath of God? This is a video about that question. It's a question that has echoed through human history whenever we're faced with overwhelming catastrophe, when science and faith collide, when our understanding of the world is shaken to its core. Where do we turn for answers? For centuries, we've looked to the heavens, searching for meaning in the chaos. Ancient texts from across the globe are filled with stories of divine anger manifested as floods, fires, and plagues, often linked to the moral or political failings of humanity. It's a powerful narrative, one that offers a sense of order, a reason for the seemingly unreasonable. It suggests that our collective actions have consequences on a cosmic scale. In the Philippines, a nation where faith is deeply woven into the fabric of daily life, this idea resonates strongly. Following the events of 2025, many saw a direct link between the natural disasters and the political turmoil that had gripped the country. They pointed to corruption, social injustice, and divisive leadership as sins that had invited divine retribution. For them, the howling winds were God's angry voice, the trembling earth, His judgment. It's a perspective that, while unsettling, provides a moral framework. It calls for introspection, for repentance, for a return to a righteous path. It transforms victims into participants in a grand divine drama. But there's another story, one told by seismographs and satellites. This story is written in the language of tectonic plates and atmospheric pressure. Geologists explain the earthquake as the inevitable release of tension along the Pacific Ring of Fire, a region of immense seismic activity where the Philippines sits precariously. The plates that form the Earth's crust are in constant, slow-motion collision, and eventually that stress must be released. It's a process that has been happening for millions of years, indifferent to human politics or prayers. It's not malice, it's physics. Similarly, climatologists explain the super typhoon with data on rising sea surface temperatures and changing weather patterns. Our planet is warming, and that extra energy in the ocean and atmosphere acts like fuel for storms, making them more frequent and far more powerful. They argue that this isn't the wrath of a deity, but the predictable, measurable consequence of our collective impact on the environment. The cause isn't found in a holy book, but in our carbon emissions, deforestation, and industrial activities. This scientific explanation doesn't offer moral judgment, but it does present a clear and urgent responsibility. So we are left with two very different ways of understanding the same tragedy. One speaks of divine will and moral accountability. The other speaks of natural laws and environmental responsibility. Are they mutually exclusive? For many, they are not. Many faithful scientists and religious citizens see no contradiction. They believe that God created the intricate, lawful universe that science describes. In this view, ignoring the scientific warnings about climate change or building cities on fault lines without proper precautions is, in itself, a form of moral failure, a poor stewardship of the world we've been given. The wrath is not a supernatural intervention, but the natural consequence of our own poor choices, which unfolds through the very laws God set in motion. Perhaps the real question isn't was it God or was it nature, but how do we respond? When we see our neighbors buried in rubble, does it matter if we blame sin or seismic shifts? The immediate need is for a shovel, for clean water, for a helping hand. The enduring images from the 2025 disasters weren't of theological debates, but of human resilience. Fishermen using their small boats to rescue stranded families, students organizing relief drives, strangers sharing their last bottle of water. This is where we find our shared humanity. This impulse to help, to comfort, to rebuild. Is that not, in itself, a kind of grace? A divine spark in the face of darkness? In the quiet moments after the storm, when the ground is still, the search for meaning continues. For some, the disaster was a wake-up call to spiritual renewal. For others, it was an urgent summons to climate action and better urban planning. And for many, it was both. They prayed for strength while demanding accountability from their leaders. They found solace in their faith while embracing the science that could help them rebuild stronger and safer. They saw the hand of God not in the destruction, but in the hands of the rescuers. Ultimately, the story of the 2025 Philippine disasters is not about finding a single, simple answer. It's about the questions we ask in our darkest hours. It's about how we grapple with events so immense they defy easy explanation. Whether we see the cause as divine, natural, or a complex interplay of both, the path forward is the same. It requires compassion, cooperation, and a commitment to build a world that is not only more resilient to the forces of nature, but also more just, more caring, and more worthy of the humanity we all share. The sky will clear, and the earth will settle. The enduring challenge is what we choose to learn, and how we choose to live when the morning comes. Thank you for watching.